Hey guys, this is Non-Lammers of Invoked 101, and today I'm doing a video on the top 5 decks that I wish would come back. These decks had time in the meta or topped regionals. These are just so stuff like Shino Birds, stuff like Chemicritters, things that like never topped are not on this list. But these are decks that did top, and something happened to them that I wish would make them come back. So real quick, my honorable mention for this is like Invoked Windwitch Artifact. I do wish that deck was still good, and it kind of could be, especially with Greatfly now. I actually had a small combo with Greatfly and the Windwitches and Alistair, but because of the Windwitches locking you into level 5 wins, you can't really play that deck anymore. So that's kind of just the honorable mention. The first deck I want to talk about is Super Quantum. Now, Super Quantum received some deck tops back when Cosmos first came out, and it was really cool to see this deck actually kind of thrive and be played purely instead of being mixed with Monarchs and Cosmos. But eventually Cosmos' power output led to Emergency Teleport being put to 1, along with a Reasoning being hit, made this deck have to just lose, and Chicken Game getting banned, made this deck lose all of its consistency. So Super Quant hasn't been played purely in a long time. Although, as you've seen, I do actually have a deck profile for it that's really Link and Spellcaster heavy and uses the Brilliant Fusion engine. So yeah. That's my first pick. I think Super Quantums could come back. Whether they and I think all they really need is like one new card and a Link monster. I really think that's it. So next up is number 4. I wish Heroes would come back. And now, as I say this, we do have confirmation that there's a new Hero Link monster coming out in the Legendary Hero decks. Along with Extra Hero Wonder Driver, we think is in that set as well, and supposedly maybe some new Destiny Hero cards. I would love to see Destiny Heroes come back to the forefront, as they were popular with Diamond Dude Turbo, and Teledad, and just various different dark decks, like Dark Synchro, and also just before Link Summoning, actually, there was Elemental Heroes taking tops with Totally Heroes and stuff like that, using Bubble Man and Tin Goldfish to go into Totally Awesome, using Behemoth Shark. But sadly we don't really have those combos anymore with the deck, and it's kind of fallen out of favor simply because of Link Summoning. So hopefully with some of this stuff out of the Legendary Hero decks, we'll see them make a bit of a comeback. The next deck I want to talk about is Spellbooks and Prophecies. And at this point we still don't have Crowley, the Origin of Prophecy. I believe he was from the Link Brains pack, which we don't have everything from yet. We have a lot of it. I think we have 18 or 17 cards from it, but we don't have all of them, as it was a 20 card Link set, 20 Link monsters. But I really hope that Prophecies and Spellbooks could come back. And yes, they did get a new card, that being the Spellbook of Knowledge and the Prophecy Link monster in the OCG, and some new life was given to them in Duel Links, as it is a popular Duel Links deck. But I still would like to see this deck come back to some meta prevalence. Next up is Dark World. So Dark Worlds actually have been being messed around with, and I believe they have a few cards that are bought out currently because of dangers. So I wrote this list before some stuff came out, and now that I look at it, I'm like, man, these decks actually might come back. So Dark Worlds did have some meta prevalence after their structure deck was released when Grapha came out. And now with the Danger cards, I would love to see some Dark World Danger decks using Danger as a small supplemental engine for the Dark Worlds, or vice versa. But still, this deck is really annoying when it pops off, but it's still one of those decks that a lot of people remember fondly from the meta. It's one of those meta decks that people remember, that when people see it, they're like, man, I wish that deck was still good. Stuff like Cosmos, people think fondly back to Cosmos. People think fondly of, what was that deck that recently? Spirals now. Some people remember Spirals pretty fondly. So things going on like that. Burning Abyss, Monarchs, mostly that entire format. But yeah. And my number one deck I wish would come back is Speedroid. Now some of you might go, Speedroids weren't really meta, but they actually had quite a few tops. I remember just the main one that I remember is one where they topped in Australia, along with some other regional tops here in America. So while they were never like super meta, they did have some tops. And while we do have a few cards that still need to be released in the TCG for Speedroids, specifically Speed Drift, which is a quick play spell that summons a tuner from the deck. We do also have one way to kind of bring it back to prevalence, and that's putting Terratop to 2, or errataing him to lock you into wind and making him go to 3. I think that would completely remove all the restrictions that I think that would remove the ability to make MX Saber Invoker, and kind of remove the reason people played him in the first place, and keep him only in wind decks for the most part. So yeah, I would love to see Speedroid Terratop come back too. Come back for Speedroids, and I think that's all they really need to come back into some meta prevalency, because using just the Wind Witches kind of is hurting the deck. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tell me what decks you guys want to come back, and I will see you guys in the next video.